Okay, I wanted to talk tonight on some of the environmental stuff that's going on and some of the hypocrisies that are going on along with it. Well, I'm all for, renewable energy resources. I'm against the way that the government is doing it. I'm against a lot of the energy, a lot of this administration's energy policy. I think it's nuts. I think it's just very out of control, and I find it very inefficient. Well, a lot of these technologies that are being used nowadays, some of them are good, but some of them need work. Some of them need more development. Some of them don't need to be pushed into production, don't need to be pushed into use. And I keep hearing, a lot of them say, oh, it's going to produce jobs, it's going to produce this, it's going to produce that. And a lot of the things they're saying have been proven not to be true. All you have to do is look at other countries. That these ideas just don't do what they say. Several of these countries that have implemented some of this stuff find it that these technologies that we have nowadays are not very efficient. They actually produce a net loss in jobs. And I think it's crazy, and I'm wondering why this is being done. And I'm finding out that a lot of the companies that do a lot of this stuff are, spend millions lobbying, campaigning, and paying, campaign donations and things of this sort towards the people that are in office nowadays. And this is the reason it's doing. And I'm also finding out that a lot of these people have just millions of dollars invested with these companies, and that they're going to make millions of dollars if these companies get in this. And I find this just corruption is what I call it. When the same thing was done by the Bush administration for these contracts that went to companies over in Iraq, everybody was up in arms about this, including myself. I thought it was crazy. I thought it was nuts. I thought this was corruption on a high level. I thought this shouldn't be done. But now everybody's okay with it, with our current administration, because it's supposedly helping the environment. This is nuts. This should not be done. And then there's other policies going in, the cap and trade policy. If nobody's heard of this is not anything that will help our environment. All this is a tax on carbon emissions. How this will help the environment, I don't see how. These companies will still go on and produce what they're doing. They will keep doing what they're doing. All they would do is they will pay this money out and raise the prices on everything that they're doing. They will raise the prices on the energy they're producing or on the products they are producing. The cost will come down to us, the consumers. We will pay more in energy. We will pay more for consumer goods, things that we need. And that's all it will do. It will basically be a tax that will affect every American, and do nothing more than that. And some of these things I'm just finding out, so even some of the little things, like the light bulbs. Everybody knows that right now that the incandescent light bulbs is being phased out, and I think this is good. This is a very inefficient light bulb. This thing was produced 100 years ago, and at the time it was the best thing. It was the only thing. It was the only thing that could be made to be work. It was needed, but now it's obsolete. There are better things. But what's being pushed is not the best thing. What's being pushed is the CFLs. I'm sure everybody has seen one. Everybody's heard about this, the little spiral light bulb. And there's a lot of problems with this thing. The light, it causes a lot of physical problems with certain people, causing headaches and things of this sort. The light also is very inefficient. It tends to fade paint and fade pictures. And the light bulbs are built with mercury in it. How can it be environmentally friendly if it's got mercury in it? It may be a small amount. These things are still going to end up in landfills, still going to end up in our environment, and we're going to have more mercury in the environment, which is not a good thing. Plus, just the fact that if these things are broken in a house, this could be more mercury to people. Causing more poisoning of people. Even if it is just a small amount. Heavy metal builds up in your body. If nobody knows this, a few of these broken, you might get enough to start actually doing damage to you. This is nuts. And these things are being pushed. These are not the most efficient things. They're the LED light bulbs. If nobody has seen these, I'm sure everybody's seen some of the little LED flashlights and things like this. These things produce a better light than a CFL. They're more efficient than a CFL. They contain no mercury than a CFL. And while CFLs are made in China, LEDs are made right here in the U.S. Why are these things, if they're so much better, not being pushed? It's simple. It comes down, again, to money. The CFLs are made by larger companies. They're produced by larger companies, and these companies are the ones that are doing the lobbying, that are doing the campaigning, that are paying the campaign contributions. They're actually making money for politicians, so politicians are going to support this. Why the LEDs are better not only for the environment, they're better for the American people, because this will produce jobs. This will produce jobs here in the U.S. This will save people money. These things are expensive, but their overall longevity and the fact that they use less energy will save people money. And I just find the hypocrisy like this, just nuts. We can do better than what we have. And we don't have to go nuts about it, like everybody is going nuts about it. The environment does need to be protected, but not at the sake of human beings and the taxpayers. It's nuts. Why is nobody else saying anything about this? Why is nobody getting mad about this? Everybody else was getting mad about Bush and his horrible spending of money, including myself. I hated some of the things he was doing. I hated a lot of what he was doing because it was wrong. But the Democrats are doing no better, and nobody is saying a thing because they're saying it's greener. It's going to help us. It's not. It's going to do very little. All it's going to do is pad the pockets of big corporations and politicians. And nobody is saying a word. Somebody needs to say something. Somebody needs to step up and say something about this. Somebody needs to get mad about this. We need to protect our environment, but we don't need to do it at the expense of human beings. This needs to stop. Well, I think that's about all I got to say about it. I'm starting to repeat myself. I'm sorry about that. If y'all want to leave comments, and y'all have a good night. And some